Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Advanced Level Test Management Certification. We are in Chapter 1 talking about managing the test activities and continuing with the same segment, that is 1.5, improving the test process. And today we shall be covering the last topic of this segment, that is 1.5.4, retrospectives. And we will understand how retrospective can be used as a method to define the test improvement actions. Well, to begin with, of course, we all understand what retrospectives are as a ceremony of the Scrum, but there might be anyone here who is watching this video but may not be aware of it. So let me just quickly give you a heads up. Retrospective is a ceremony which is conducted in Agile methodology, especially as a part of Scrum. And these are basically to collect, sit down together to discuss at the end of each sprint that what went wrong, what went good, and what is that we can do better. So it's more of like collecting data on those activities and those artifacts, those people, even people as well, that things which were not working fine, how we can do it better, or probably if these are not something which is contributing anymore, we can stop doing that. And if things are there which we can innovate, we look forward to identify them together. Now, together means we have designer, developer, and tester sitting together to collect this data. Now, same way, the retrospective can be used particularly as a set of data which is being collected from all the sides. Like we do talk about design, we do talk about story creation, we do talk about development, we do talk about test. So of course, as we do talk about testing and the test process, retrospective can be another technique which we can use to identify the gaps and processes which we can improve. So certainly in the previous tutorial, we gave you a little bit of heads up that retrospective is again one of the way by which we can collect the data, which can guide us with the improvement actions, and thus it would be of great help. Also to add here, of course, the introduction, what we just discussed has been mentioned here. Retrospective meetings are basically the collaboration methods, and here we collect data from everyone. We also want to let you know that the retrospectives are not just limited to Agile methodology today. If you talk about 2025, the data retrospective is an event which happens in sequential lifecycle as well. But we call them as test completion activities, right? As a part of test completion activity, which is the last phase of sequential lifecycle models, we do gather together to collect the data. But that's more from the perspective of testing team sitting together. But today in 2025, when we talk about sequential models, they do ask the developers and designers to sit together to see that what we can do better. So it's not that this is that sequential which was 30 years ago. So today, sequentials and Agile pretty much have these retrospective happening in the same fashion because it gives me the benefit of collecting data from all the sides. Also to add here, retrospectives are performed by entire team. So we should be very clear about that. And there are a lot of such information which you would need to remember for your examination. So whole team is very much important for the collection of data. And this data is what which is going to help us to define the real goals of improving the test process. The next thing we want to add here is what is the sequence of actions. So what kind of phases do we have? What kind of stages we look forward to? So a typical retrospective generally consists of the following steps. The introduction, where we define the goal and agenda of retrospective, which are reviewed. So we basically want to define that as a part of retrospective, what is that we want to do? Is that just a get together where we are talking to each other, or it is also going to collect some important information which we want to do? So most importantly, just like any other approaches of improving the test process, we define a goal that during the retrospective, or retrospective will be used as a technique or approach for us to define the test process improvement. And we define those goals and let the other stakeholder know that, hey, we are looking forward to improve our test process. So please feel free to contribute what you think we can do better. And same thing comes from the testing team members as well, that from a testing point of view, what is that you think we can improve in the test process? So the first stage is, of course, the introduction, where we certainly kind of define a goal and agenda, because there's nothing which can be measured without a goal, right? Then second is, of course, we collect the data, and data is collected regarding what happened during the iteration or the project. If it is agile, it is iteration. If it is sequential, then it is once at the end of the project. It is also possible to collect the qualitative data. such as timeline of key events that identified issues and list how each team member feels about those. In addition, the quantitative data from matrices can be presented. For example, data for test progress, defect detection, test effectiveness, test efficiency, and predictability can provide an objective insight into the testing of the project or iteration. And I think about these matrices we have already discussed in the previous segment as well, so I'm not going to waste your time, but just correlate that matrices play a very vital role in collecting great amount of data for you in order to do this quantitative analysis for process improvement. The third element here certainly to talk about is derive improvements. Now, once you have collected the data, the next important thing is for us to identify those gaps, those areas where we need improvement. So identify those areas which can be a process, which can be a level, which can be a test where it can be our communication or the way we present our updates, anything like reporting, etc. So whatever you find as the area of improvement, we derive those things from the data collected. And then comes the fourth phase, which is certainly decide on improvement action, which is more of like setting up your plan. So it's as good as the ideal model. If you see, you are relating it to the ideal itself, where you initiate it, then diagnose it, then of course you define an action plan, you implement it, and then you look forward to sit down and discuss that what kind of things we could have, like learning. L stands for learning. So what actions were effective, what were not, and accordingly look forward to do the next. So same way, the fourth one is decide on improvement action, which is more of like setting up your action items, setting up your plan of action, what you would do to improve those things. And then the last one is close retrospective, which is where the retrospective itself is reviewed to identify strengths and improvements in the retrospective process. A retrospective is performed regularly, especially in agile software development, and continuous improvement is also applied to the retrospective itself. So sometimes it may happen that the retrospectives are being conducted, but they are not being valuable. Valuable in the sense people are participating, but they don't contribute. So it should not be that like the retrospective should only be about sitting together and discussing on something, but no effective data is coming out of it. So people should be very crisp and clear with their contributions. They should understand what is the significance of conducting retrospective is. Otherwise, if you ask me, I would say, let's not waste our time conducting retrospective. Okay, so these are the 5 major phases you should remember in order to answer a question. You should also remember what happens in each of the phase as a part of retrospective. Finally, to conclude, of course, we are just saying that it is very, very important to document the retrospective. So today we have different options. We may document it in Confluence or maybe a documentation like Word, or even if you want, you can record the session. It should be documented in any of the ways because this is referable and can be used as a baseline to refer it anytime again in the future. So also to add here, in a sequential development model, findings, conclusions, and recommendations need to be distributed and communicated in an understandable way to the members of the organization. And similarly, when it comes to agile development model, the problems and the actions should also be documented, okay, to allow the reviews of action and their potential impact on the problems in the next iteration. The testers, being a part of the project or team, bring in their unique perspective so they can raise testing related problems and others and stimulate the team to think about possible improvements. So they certainly, it's not that like testers are not something as an active participant to the retrospective. They are great contributors, so it's not that testers should not participate there because it is about their process mainly now. So without testers' participation, it does not make any sense. So they do bring value by sharing their views and perception about the process itself. So it should be collective wisdom, which we would use to make it better. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. I hope you got it very clear. And should you have anything else, feel free to comment well. I'm there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.